Hello, and I'd like to welcome you all once again to the old schoolhouse here in the hamlet of Butterstone for another one of our wee Saturday night half hours. Welcome to you all. There's just me and Jenny in the old school tonight, and it's been a pretty crazy week. I'm going to start off with this wee song, which is vaguely a love song, and like what I've said before, that. Like what I said before, it's very hard for a songwriter to write a love song because there's so many love songs out there, and it's very hard to write a song. It's because it's not corny. It's not got that kind of thing. So it's a tricky thing. So this is vaguely a love song. Oh, and could you please welcome the wonderful Tatty Faces to the stage, who will be accompanying me with their usual virtuosity tonight, and. Here comes the morning, cruel and clear. There is no reasonable chance that it might disappear. And here comes the evening, it's still the same. We are just passengers upon this godless, ghostly train. But she loves me when I try. She thinks about me when I'm gone. Oh, she helps me when I can't hold on. And it's another market, another sale, another reason to believe we're ahead and cannot fail. But there's deadly dangers we must endure. There are so many different ways, we never can be sure. But she loves me when I try. She thinks about me when I'm gone. Oh, she helps me when I can't hold on. And there is no ending to this tale. There is no destination on this long and restless rail. Here comes the morning, cruel and clear. There is no reasonable chance that it might disappear. But she loves me when I try. She thinks about me when I'm gone. Oh, she helps me when I can't hold on. And she loves me when I try. She thinks about me when I'm gone. Oh, she helps me when I can't hold on. Thank you very much, and that's my wee vaguely a love song called She Loves Me When I Try. And it's been a pretty crazy week, and I have a wee problem at the moment because I'm overwhelmed with vegetables from my garden. And early on, you know, I'm overwhelmed with cucumbers. And what happened was very early on, I grew the cucumbers from seeds, you know, and all these wee plants appeared, and I put them all in pots, and I didn't have the heart to sort of just keep half a dozen and throw the other ones out. So I kept putting them in another pot and another pot and putting them in the greenhouse and another pot and putting them in. And now they're like triffids. They're growing all over my greenhouse, and there's cucumbers everywhere. And my kitchen is completely piled up with dragon's teeth cucumbers and all the kind of weird and wonderful apple. There are different varieties of cucumbers. But anyway, I just thought I'd share you. I'm going to do that. I'm going to change guitars. I'll be change tune here. And this is a wee song that I wrote for a friend of mine a number of years ago, and it was about his own kind of lack of contentment, and my strap just popped off. There we go. Right, so it's here we go. Restless fool, can't you wait a minute longer? Oh, restless fool, can't you wait until you're stronger? For there's things that you don't know about harvesting things that you don't know, and without a little time they may never be revealed. Oh, restless fool, don't leave them all behind you. Oh, restless fool, you'll disappear, they'll never find you. For there's things that you don't know, how the lady likes to dance, and there's things that you don't know, without a little help you may never find the chance. Oh, restless fool, you don't hear a word I'm saying. Oh, restless fool, you can leave, but I am staying. But there's things that you don't know about this wild, elusive dream. And there's things that you don't know, and it's certain sure nothing is the way it seems. Oh, restless fool, oh, restless fool. Thank you very much, and that's my wee song called Restless Fool. And I'm going to continue with this song, and it's for this is for the global choir, and now We've done this song a number of times on these wee shows, so by now the Global Choir will have got it perfect. And most of you know that I have a little house up on the west coast of the island of Lewis, right out on the very west of the island. And it's a brilliant place, and there's nothing between the west coast of the island of Lewis and America, just the Atlantic Ocean. And there are no trees on Lewis, so when the big storms come in, the winds can be so strong that you just can't leave your house. It would be a dangerous thing to do. And it would be dangerous to do. And so I wrote this song after watching a caravan tumbling past my front room window, heading down the Macher to the beach, probably to America. And so I wrote this wee song, and I've got my wee request here. Forgot about my requests. The first song, She Loves Me When I Try, was a request for Graham Bradley from Perth in Australia. Hi, Graham. I've done some shows over that part of Australia. It's a wonderful part of Australia. When I went down to the wine country down south, beautiful place. And Restless Fool, that one I just finished, was for Craig and Ellie from Aberdeen. That's good. Now, I used to live in Aberdeen. I used to be a gardener in Duthie Park in Aberdeen before I became a musician in my kind of late teens. I loved Aberdeen. It was a brilliant place. You got the best mushy peas in a wee bar called I can't remember what it was called. It was brilliant anyway. And this song is for Joey Travis from Dallas in Texas. And I believe Joey has actually been up to Reef, which is the name of the wee village, this summer, actually, and met my good friend Finn. Because the chorus mentioned three characters: my friend Finn, my friend John Angus, who sadly passed away a number of years ago, who was a crofter, and my friend Murdani. And Murdani still lives just a few hundred yards from the house, and he's 92, I think he is now, and he's in great shape. So, but it's a wonderful part of the world up there, and there was a couple of lovely things, you know, that the old black house where John Angus had originally lived, they turned it into, he built a new house and turned the old black house into a byre, a place for keeping the cows. And then eventually, just a number of years after he passed away, his son and that decided to turn the old byre into a wee house and rebuild it. So I was helping them kind of clear out the byre, and here away up in the stones in the byre was this bottle of whiskey, but still half full. And it was obviously a place where John Angus had stashed the wee bottle of whiskey so that he could go, every now and then he could go out and have a wee dram from it, you know. So we immediately took the bottle into the house, poured ourselves a glass, and we toasted John Angus. This was a lovely, lovely thing. And but there's a lot of whiskey drinking up there, and there's a grocer's van which comes round. Well, it doesn't come round anymore, but it used to come round and deliver people's groceries. But it didn't really deliver groceries. What it did was it delivered whiskey to all the old men. Now, the old men could have gone down to the shop and got their whiskey, but then they would have been seen getting their whiskey, and it would have been worked out how many they were getting. So they used to kind of wait for this van coming round, and it was so a dram in Scottish is a glass of whiskey. What you drink, a glass of whiskey. But it was everybody in the village knew that that's what the old men were up to with this grocer's van. So much so that they actually christened the grocer's van the Drambulance, and I just thought that was wonderful, the Drambulance. And it was coming round when all the old guys had a bit of a thirst. Anyway, the Global Choir, you sing, I feel so near to the howling of the winds, I feel so near to the crashing of the waves, I feel so near to the flowers in the fields, I feel so near. And I was talking to an old man up there, and he was saying to me, he says, oh yes, he says, this place is very, very thin. He says, it's very, very, very thin. And I was saying, what do you mean by very thin? He says, oh, it's a very, very thin place up here. And I'm going, what do you mean? He says, oh, it's very, very thin. He says, the distance between the living and the dead is very small up here. And you do get that feeling, you know, you feel nature right in your face, you know what I mean? So, here we go. All
Right, Mr. Typee. Good.
Find me sitting at this table with my friend Finn and my friend John. My friend Mardani tells us stories of things long gone, long gone. And we will take a glass together. The whiskey makes it all so clear. It fires our dulled imagination. And I feel so near, so near. I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. The old man looks out to the islands. He says this place is endless thin. There's no real distance here to mention. We might all fall in, all fall in. No distance to the spirits of the living. No distance to the spirits of the dead. And as he turned, his eyes were shining, and he proudly said, I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. And so we build our tower constructions there to mark our place in time. We sacrifice our great destructions as on we climb, on we climb. Now the journey doesn't seem to matter. The destination's faded out. Gathering out along the headlands, I hear the children shout, children shout. I feel so near to the howling of the wind. Make a better noise, one. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. Feel so near. Here we go, global choir. Are you ready? Just to have a wee mouthful of whatever libation you have beside you. We'll get a bit of a global choir thing happening. Here we go. Global choir. I feel so. That's fantastic. I'm getting a real global choir vibe here in the old schoolhouse tonight. I don't know, Mr. Tatty Faces here, but we've got this real communication thing going on. We'll do it again. See if you can make a bit more noise. All right, here we go. I feel so so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. Here we go, make a better noise. I feel so near to the howling of the winds. I feel so near to the crashing of the waves. I feel so near to the flowers in the fields. I feel so near. Well done, Global Choir. I think you're getting better, actually, as the years go on now. I mean, you should know a lot of these choruses by now, and I'm sure a lot of you are singing wee harmonies and things out there. I'm going to finish this wee half hour with a song. So Julie Travis from Dallas in Texas, who requested that song, I believe she met my friend Finn out at the campsite, which she looks after up there. And anyway, I'm going to do this wee song, and there was a request, and this is not the way when I recorded it. I wrote it on the banjo, but when we recorded it, Jamie took it into the studio and turned it into this with the orchestration and all kinds of things going on in it. And I'd forgotten how I originally wrote it. And so I thought we'd give it a wee try. Now this will either work. Tangled up with the light here. So this will either work or it'll go pear-shaped. But we'll just have to wait and see, because I couldn't quite remember how I did it and how it was written. But so I'm going to have a wee mouthful of my port here, because I've got... In fact, I'm going to have a big mouthful of my port. So here we go. Now it's got a chorus as well. If you feel like you can get your head around it, you can have a wee go at it. And the song came from the whole idea that your dreams are very hard to achieve. And that's because they're just waiting to make a getaway from you at any chance they can get. You get. And that's what the song's called, The Perfect Getaway. We hold it so tight, we can't make it stay. And it slips through our fingers, a debt to repay. And we try to persuade with the truth and the lie, but it slips through our fingers without a goodbye. And there's nothing to do and there's nothing to say. It's waited too long to perform the perfect getaway. That's what you can sing. You can try that. And there's nothing to do and there's nothing to say. It's waited too long to perform the perfect getaway. We've given the place that it needs to survive. We've given the space to repair and revive. But hope fades away and all dreams will burn. and it slips through our fingers, never to return. And there's nothing to do and there's nothing to say. It's waited too long to perform the perfect getaway. And time is our master, and fate holds the chains, and we climb through it all until nothing remains. And across the horizon we think we can see, but it slips through our fingers and it's stiff to be free. And there's nothing to do and there's nothing to say. It's waited too long to perform the perfect getaway. Are you getting the hang of that wee chorus? We'll do it one. We'll do the first verse again. Oh, we hold it so tight, we can't make it stay. And it slips through our fingers, a debt to repay. And we try to persuade with the truth and a lie, but it slips through our fingers without a goodbye. And there's nothing to do and there's nothing to say. It's waited too long to perform the perfect getaway. And that's my wee song, The Perfect Getaway. On the banjo, which is how I wrote it, but if you hear the recording, it sounds completely different because it's got orchestral kind of things going on with it. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our little half an hour. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Thank you for joining us. There's just me and Jenny in the old school tonight, so Jen's rushing around there like pressing buttons and moving around and trying to keep everything under control. But anyway, nothing left for me to say, but I've got that was Perfect Getaway. Oh yeah, The Perfect Getaway was requested by Carrie Henderson in Calgary, Alberta in Canada. Now, I used to do lots of concerts in Calgary many years ago. There used to be, I think it was Edmonton, was it Calgary? There used to be a flight from Prestwick. In the very early days of the jumbo jets, they used to fly over to it was either Edmonton or Calgary, but I remember we used to, I've driven back and forward from Edmonton to Calgary a number of times over the years. Anyway, nice part of the country, very cold. It was a very cold place, if I remember rightly. I've got to say the next ticketed concert will be a late summer special 1 hour concert. It'll be number 275, which is the next one. It's next week, isn't it, actually? Yeah, in 2 weeks it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, next week there won't be a show because I'm performing as part of the Edinburgh Festival, doing a big show there. But we'll maybe send you something from the Edinburgh Festival, and so that'll be Saturday, August the 9th. That's when the next ticketed ones. And I've got a couple of nice videos that I made up in Glenelg, which I'm working on for that show. So anyway, thank you very much. Good night. Hope you're all looking after yourselves. Take care. Hope you're all staying cheery. It's a troubled world we're living in, and a good wee sing-song can relieve the tension. Thanks to the Tatty Faces for their usual wonderful contribution to the half hour. I hope you're all smiling like a tatty face, and I'll see you all next weekend. Aichava, you all take care. Well, not next weekend. I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah. Aichava, night. You take care. Bye.